Imagine this. You wake up one morning, walk into your kitchen, and suddenly realize something's off. The coffee mug you always use isn't there. Instead, there's a completely different mug, one you've never seen before. But here's the kicker. It feels familiar, like it belongs to another version of you. Sound crazy? Well, what if I told you that scientists, philosophers, and even ordinary people have been reporting experiences like this for years? Welcome back to Cosmo Decode, where we explore the mysteries of the cosmos, and today we're diving headfirst into the mind-bending world of parallel universes. Today we're talking about something so wild, so out there, that it might just change how you see your own life. We're exploring real-life stories of people who claim they've encountered evidence of parallel universes, alternate realities where everything is slightly or wildly different. Now, before you dismiss this as science fiction, let me tell you, some of the smartest minds in physics are taking this idea seriously. Think quantum mechanics, multiverse theory, and string theory. These aren't just abstract concepts anymore. They could be shaping our everyday lives without us even realizing it. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into 3 jaw-dropping stories that will make you question everything. To understand these stories, we need to start with the basics. What exactly is a parallel universe? In simple terms, it's an alternate reality coexisting alongside ours. Some theories suggest there are infinite versions of you out there, each living slightly or drastically different lives. For example, in one universe, you might be an astronaut. In another, you stayed home instead of going to that party last weekend. Crazy, right? This idea comes straight out of quantum mechanics, specifically the many worlds interpretation proposed by physicist Hugh Everett III in the 1950s. According to this theory, every decision you make splits the universe into multiple branches. It's like choosing between pizza and pasta tonight. Not only do both options exist, but entire universes branch off based on those choices. If every choice creates a new universe, how many versions of yourself are out there right now? Story #1, the man who found his double. Our first story starts with Paul, a software engineer from Chicago. One day, while rushing to catch a train, he glanced across the platform and froze. Standing there was his exact double. Same face, same clothes, same posture. At first, Paul thought it was a prank, or maybe a twin he didn't know about. But then things got weird. The other Paul made eye contact, smiled knowingly, and stepped onto a departing train. When Paul tried to chase after him, the train doors closed and it sped away. Later, when he described the encounter to friends, no one believed him. But here's the twist. Months later, Paul found himself inexplicably drawn to a specific bookstore downtown. Inside, he discovered a photo album filled with pictures of himself. Except the photos were taken decades ago, long before he was born. Was this proof of a parallel universe leaking into ours? Or was it simply an uncanny coincidence? Either way, Paul swears he hasn't been the same since. Did you know that physicists believe mirror worlds, universes almost identical to ours but reversed in time or space, could theoretically exist? This concept aligns eerily well with Paul's experience. Story #2, the city that didn't exist. Next, let's uncover the story of Emma, who during a road trip in the US stumbled upon a town not found on any map. The people were friendly, the scenery was decades behind, and oddly, no one knew about the internet. After spending a day there, she left, but has never been able to find that town again. Her GPS history showed no record of her ever being there. Was Emma lost in time, or did she visit a parallel universe where our modern tech never emerged? If you discovered a place that no one else could find again, would you question your sanity, or believe you had found a portal to another universe? Story #3, the woman who lived 2 lives. Next up, we have Sarah, a writer from Portland whose story sounds like it came straight out of a novel. For years, Sarah had vivid dreams about a life she didn't recognize. A small-town librarian married to a farmer, raising kids in rural Montana. She dismissed them as random fantasies until one fateful trip to a thrift store changed everything. While browsing, Sarah stumbled upon a dusty journal. Flipping through its pages, her blood ran cold. The entries matched her dreams word for word down to the smallest detail. Even stranger, the handwriting looked eerily similar to her own. Sarah reached out to experts hoping for answers. Some suggested cryptomnesia, a phenomenon where forgotten memories resurface. But others pointed to the possibility of a parallel self trying to communicate. Could Sarah's dream life actually exist somewhere else? And if so, which version of her is the real one? If you discovered proof of another version of yourself, would you want to meet them? Or keep your distance? Story #4, the parallel self encounter. And what if you met yourself? Alex claims that during a routine walk in the park, he met another version of himself. The other Alex knew things only he could know, shared memories up to a certain point in life. Then their paths diverged. He described the encounter as both terrifying and enlightening, raising questions about identity and existence itself. Was Alex facing his doppelganger, or had he crossed a thin veil between worlds? Many cultures believe that meeting your doppelganger is an omen or a supernatural event. But could it actually be a meeting between parallel universe selves? Story #5. The mysterious case of the Mandela effect, our final story, brings us to the infamous Mandela effect, a term coined by paranormal researcher Fiona Broom. It describes shared false memories among large groups of people. For instance, thousands of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s, even though historical records show he passed away in 2013. But wait, it gets weirder. Remember the children's books called the Berenstain Bears? Turns out they're actually spelled Berenstain. How did so many people misremember such a small detail? Some theorists argue this isn't human error. It's evidence of parallel universes merging. Picture this. Two universes collide briefly, causing glitches in our collective memory. Suddenly, details shift, and we're left wondering why things don't match up. While skeptics chalk this up to cognitive bias, believers see it as undeniable proof of alternate realities bleeding into ours. The term Mandela effect has sparked countless debates online, with Reddit threads dedicated to uncovering more examples. Have you ever experienced it yourself? So what do you think? Are these stories just products of overactive imaginations or glimpses into a much larger multiverse? While science hasn't definitively proven the existence of parallel universes yet, the evidence keeps piling up. From personal accounts to cutting-edge theories, the line between fact and fiction grows blurrier every day. Here's my challenge to you. Pay attention to the little things. That misplaced object, that déjà vu moment, that nagging feeling that something's not quite right. Could it be a sign of another reality reaching out? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing content. And hey, leave a comment below. Have you ever experienced anything you can't explain? Let's solve the mystery together. Until next time, stay curious, stay open-minded, and remember, the universe is far stranger than we can imagine.